What happens when your DM is cold-blooded? Let me describe the situation. For a little backstory, I had this 20-year-old cat named Rascal. He was the most gentle cat I had ever met, and he lived for a good few years before dying of natural causes. A year before he died, he had something wrong with his tooth that made his face swell up. The vet told us to just let it run its course while giving him some antibiotics, and he was recovering little by little each day. This story took place before the vet visit, so at the time, I thought my little buddy was dying. Anyways, fast forward to my next D&D session. Now Adam, the DM, was that guy, and I had numerous altercations with him that I might post about some other time. But it was this time that made me leave his group altogether. He noticed I wasn't being my normal self, and he asked me what was up. Even though I didn't like him, I still needed someone to talk to, so I told him the situation. He then looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Why don't you just kill him already?" Everyone at the table just stopped what they were doing, and we all just stared back at him in disbelief. He just sat there and said, "What? He isn't old, is he? Just take a knife and stab him in the neck." Dude, he's my little buddy. I can't do that to him. "So? He's gonna die anyway," he said back as the entire group just stared at him in total disbelief. By this time, I could feel tears running down my face because not only was I imagining my sick cat with a swollen face, but now there was a new image in my head where he had a knife in his neck. He then pulled out his little anime pocket knife he carried around for protection and told me I could borrow it. That was the last straw, so I punched him in his greasy weeb face. Did I overreact? Yeah, I'll admit it. But you don't tell some teenager to kill his cat. That was the last time I ever saw that jerk again. I made his nose bleed, but luckily no one pressed charges because apparently the group was on my side. I even heard his best friend tell him he kinda deserved it as I left his house. Rascal got better, but still died later on in the year due to natural causes. I miss my little buddy to this day and would give anything to rub his belly again. Yeah, he was one of those cats raised around dogs, so he acted like one. Anyway, that was just one time I had a bad experience with Adam. There are plenty more where that came from. And Adam, if you're hearing this, I hope your nose still hurts, you jerk. This is one of those cases where that guy takes things too far outside the game. It's one thing to act like an edgelord in a game, but when you try to use the same persona in real life, it becomes quickly apparent that that sort of behavior really does not translate into the real world. I'm sure the DM thought that he was being super cool when he said what he said, but the reality is that everyone is going to look at you like you are crazy. What do you all think about this situation?